up, everybody? Welcome to the party. Today is Thursday, November 7th, 2024. It's episode 745, 746, something like that, of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. What's cracking, everybody? I'm your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, and over the next hour, we are all going to be absolutely shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I'll be giving my expert opinion and analysis on each of those stories, on what it means to you as a practitioner, or if you're looking to break into the industry. We got massive value drops for you. I do want to say what's up to the hashtag Team SC, the Simply Cyber community. A lot of regulars in here. We're all going to be doing it. Augusta Delgado, Triple D, Marcus Kyler of the Yeet crew. We got the mods in chat like Eric Taylor, DJ Bisek, Jenny Housley, Kimberly. So many. We got the Youngs, Justin Gold, Casually Joseph, Dennis Keefe on the regular. Dennis Keefe, been loving seeing your social media posts, putting yourself out there. The consistency is chef's kiss. Now, I want you to know, we are going through the top news of the day. But in order to make this as authentic as possible, I don't research or prep for any of the show. It is all just go live, go hard, or go home. And I'm actually technically at home, so I guess I'm doing all those things. We got it going on. So check it out. We've got a banger of a show for you, I promise you, today. Now, before we get into it, before I just absolutely melt your face with knowledge bombs, right? And chat, another thing that's amazing, guys, the chat drops knowledge bombs all over it. The Simply Cyber community is rich with experience and knowledge and perspective and diversity and inclusion. So look for chat, and if you got thoughts, drop them in chat yourself. Don't be shy. Share with the community. That's what we're doing up here. Now, I do want to say mad love and props to the stream sponsor, starting with Barricade Cyber. Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Cyber attacks can cause massive issues for businesses and send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil. But guess what, y'all? Barricade Cyber Solutions, you know what they know how to do? They know how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents. Believe that. Check them out at barricadecyber.com. Links in the description below. I also want to say shout out and love to Antisyphon training. And if you already know, then you know. I've been in an Antisyphon training all week this week, day 4 today with John Strand. It's been epic meal time. Just num, just dropping knowledge all over the place. And many of the students who are taking the class can take it for $0. Antisyphon, let's hear a brief word from them and then come back and get into how you can use this show to get your CPEs. High-quality cybersecurity education, regardless of financial position. Check this out. I want to give some love and some praise to Antisyphon Training, powered by Black Hills Information Security. Antisyphon Training is absolutely disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position. They bring industry professionals with years and years of experience into the classroom to teach you and anyone else who's interested practical skills that are in demand in the market today. And on top of that, the student experience is amazing, as you and hundreds or thousands in some instances of other students are actively engaging, networking, sharing tips, tricks, and experiences with each other, all live in the classroom. Go to antisyphontraining.com, check out their course calendar to see what courses they have coming up next. You won't regret it. Oh yeah, you definitely won't regret it. All about good times over there. Thank you, Antisyphon. Also, just so everyone knows, Antisyphon renewed as a sponsor, will be sponsoring the entirety of 2025. So mad props to them, and thank you for enabling me to be able to continue to do this for the community every single morning. We got a super chat from Space Tacos, GRC Mafia.
We just become best friends.
Thank you, Space Tacos. Space Tacos, definitely a GRC Mafia OG. Getting the work done. I love it. I love it. I love it. I saw a couple first timers in chat. Welcome to the parties, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Listen, if this is your first episode of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief, allow me to welcome you with open arms. Welcome to the party, pal. If it's your first time, drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Hashtag first timer in chat. Simply so we can say hello to you and drop all sorts of fun sound effects and emotes in a very loving, welcoming way. We've got it for you. Mando Avila knows what's up. Space Tacos knows what's up also. So, guys, hey, whether you're first time here or you're a long timer, hashtag Team SC team member, let me tell you, every episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, including episode 746, is worth half a CPE. It's a continuing education credit. Say what's up in chat, grab a screenshot, right? Grab a screenshot, and then file it away. Once a year, count the number of screenshots, divide by 2. All right, what's this saying here? Oyen Damola says, the course has been really amazing. Thank you for being the plug. You're welcome. Is that a Gen Z thing? I mean, it sounds good, so I'll take it. My pleasure. I'm glad you're getting value. All I want is people to get value from the community. That's it. All right, guys. Hey, I do want to say, actually, let me just do the Delete Me ad roll really quickly. I do want to also say shout out and thanks to Delete Me. If you didn't know, super pumped about them. Delete Me. All right. As a person that exists publicly, especially since I share my opinions and hot takes daily, I'm hyper aware of my safety and security, especially that of my family, right? I have kids and a wife I want to protect. It's very easy to find personal information, find information online. All this data is just hanging out on the internet. Excuse me, and it can have real life consequences in the real world. I recently found a solution, and the service is called Delete Me. Delete Me is a subscription service that removes your personal info from the largest people search databases on the web, and in the process can help prevent ID theft, doxing, and phishing scams. When you sign up, tell Delete Me what data you want deleted. They go off and take care of it. You get a personalized privacy report every month showing you what they found, what they deleted, which is great. Basically, outsourcing, managing your online privacy. Let's go. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now with the special discount for Simply Cyber listeners just like you. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and use promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. All right. Love it, love it, love it. I've got the Gen Zs coming in, giving me some urban dictionaries up in here. Plug someone who is quite high in the hierarchy of selling drugs. Okay. I guess if cyber knowledge is your drug, come around the corner and let me show you what my wares are. We got cyber knowledge for days. All right, guys. Darius Cater in the house. David P. in the house. Port Zero in the house. Guys, this is such a great community. I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you. Got the coffee. We got jaw jacking later today. DJ Bisek has been cramming for an exam, so I don't know if he's going to be available, but we'll play it by ear. For everyone else, do me a favor. Looks like Nokia is going to be our first story of the day. Do me a favor, David P., Modas Bella, Mara Levy, Andrew Tibbs, Damian Valdez, who was the first timer.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Thomas Marquette, good morning to you. Hey, everybody, do me a favor. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us. See you at the mid-roll.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Thursday, November 7th, 2024. I'm Sean Kelly. Nokia says it has no evidence that hackers breached company data. On Tuesday, known Serbian threat actor Intel Broker claimed they swiped Nokia's internal data, including SSH keys, source code, and internal credentials, and intend to sell it on breach forums for $20,000. Intel Broker claims they breached a third-party contractor that develops some of Nokia's internal tools. Nokia confirmed they're investigating the report and said they have found no evidence of their systems or data being impacted. Given that Intel Broker has carried out a number of high-profile data thefts from entities including Apple, the U.S. House of Representatives, Europol, and GE, odds are good that the threat actor's claims are legitimate.
All right. Couple things here. Fleetus with the gifted subs.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Thank you, Fleetus. Hey, if you're one of the 10 people who just got gifted a sub by Fleetus, please, thank you. Be sure to say thanks to him and check out that squad emo tray because it is unlocked for you 10 folks, and it's all about good times up here. All right. Now, Intel Broker is a hacker. I feel like I've heard of this person before. Essentially, what they've done is they've swiped a bunch of internal information, but more importantly, they've grabbed SSH keys and internal credentials. Remember, when a threat actor steals data, right? If it's like, whatever, internal documents or blueprints or email or financial forecast, yeah, that sucks. But obviously they got in somehow, so you'll want to make sure you figure out how and then plug that hole. Plug, the word of the day, plug, right? But in this instance, the threat actor actually got sensitive authentication information, SSH keys, internal credentials, right? This is really bad. I find it unusual that they're only selling it for $20,000 on the dark web. I guess maybe there's economies of scale, right? So they're thinking maybe if we could sell it to 5 different groups, then we can make $100K on it. Maybe they're running Black Friday pricing, right? It is that time of year, right? So unfortunately, it is Nokia's data, but according to the story here, the group claims to have obtained the data through a breach of a third-party contractor linked to Nokia's internal tool development, right? So right here, supply chain, third-party risk management. I've been saying it for years, literally since 2020. I've been saying third-party risk is a real thing. I get it. It's hard. I get it. You can't not do business-to-business dealings. You can't be like, we're going to just do it all in-house. No. In 2024 and in 2020, that isn't how it works. You do business to business. There's economies of scale. There's people that are better at stuff, right? Like, I'm not going to run personally for like Simply Cyber. I'm not going to run an entire, finance and accounting department. I'll use QuickBooks or Stripe or something, right? So these things happen. In this instance, this third-party contractor obviously had some gaps in their cybersecurity posture. Let's not throw too much shade. I want you to remember this third-party contractor could have had the best cybersecurity in the world and still got popped, okay? Intel Broker, thanks to the assist casually, Joseph, a.k.a. Kashmir. Intel Broker is the owner of Breach Forums, and they've also breached such names as Apple and Europol. So Intel Broker is uber legit. Like, I would call them, APT level stuff, right? Like Intel Broker's the kind of guy that, like, in the movie Swordfish, when they got the guy, like, he's the Eastern European dude wearing the mink jacket and he comes into town and they're like, oh no, what's this incredible next level, but very, very obvious super hacker doing here? There must be something afoot. That's kind of like what Intel Broker is. I'm not saying Intel Broker's a guy or wears mink coats, but you get my idea. That kind of like personification or persona is what we're talking about. Guys, the third party could have had crap security as well. We don't know from the story, right? But I want people to remember, GRC Mafia in the house. NIST has been breached. MITRE has been breached, okay? Department of Energy has been breached. Like, you cannot remove all risk, ever. You will always have some residual risk. What you want to do is limit the likelihood of those risks getting exploited, and you want to minimize or mitigate down the impact of what happens when that risk is exploited, okay? It's not if, it's when. It's not if it's happening, it's when, right? Like all the GRC stuff, okay? We need a GRC sounder up in here. All right. So finally, by the way, if for whatever reason you discover your business's data is on the dark web, which, by the way, you might be like, wait, how would I know it's on the dark web? Oh, right? I don't even know what that sound effect is, but that's basically the audible version of discovering that you don't know if your crap's on the dark web. Listen, they're not even a sponsor right now. They are going to be in 2025, but Flare, right? I talk about Flare all the time. I love Flare. This is the company Jason Haddix works at. Flare gives you the insights into the dark web. They go troll all the dark webs and Telegram channels and get that info. This is how you would find out, okay? Just FYI. So if you find out, like Nokia has, you immediately have to execute incident response. Yes, you have to figure out, they know it's the third-party contractor, right? So you can't really fix them, but you can reset credentials, expire SSH keys, make sure that those processes are tight. Go back and look at access logs of people logging into those accounts or using those SSH keys and make sure that they make sense. Do you see an unusual logon attempt? Do you see some weird IP location like Cambodia or something? You got to do that. You got to do it. It's the work. You got to do it.
You got to patch.
All right. Let's go. Now, hey, having to say all these things, I will tell you, there's a good chance that that third party had sucky security. I want to allow for them to have great security, and Intel Broker just did some like next level hacker kung fu on it. But chances are they weren't running multi-factor and they had reused credentials.
Nigerian cybercrime bust arrests 100.
Hold on. Justin Gold, aka JMod, in chat, letting me know that Francesco Orlando, first timer. Thanks for the videos. I watched some past ones and they're amazing. Thank you, Francesco. That's very kind of you. I'm learning so much in the field. Anyway, first timer in a live video. Ladies and gentlemen, squad members alike, please help me in welcoming Francesco Orlando into the stream.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, Francesco. You are more than welcome and absolutely welcome here. Let's go.
130 people. Over the weekend, the Nigerian Police Force, or NPF, announced a massive law enforcement operation that resulted in the arrest of 130 alleged cybercriminals. The NPF and the National Cybercrime Center raided a building in Abuja where the suspects were reportedly using computers and other sophisticated equipment to facilitate illicit cybercrimes. Suspects include 113 foreign individuals, primarily of Chinese and Malaysian origin, and 17 Nigerian nationals. Nigeria loses an estimated $500 million annually to cybercrime, and earlier this year, a report from Checkpoint ranked Nigeria 19th out of 112 countries experiencing increased cyber attacks.
All right. This is the official Nigerian police logo. This is interesting. Okay. Okay, so there was a story in yesterday's news about a Nigerian guy getting 26 years in prison. A 34-year-old, right? So it was going to be that. We do need to recall it a sponsor. I hear you. James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet gave me some Beekeeper's Natural spray when he was here. So let's give that a shot. I don't know. Hey, quick side tangent. I don't know if you guys ever did this, but like when I was a kid, like 12, 13, 14, one of the things that we did to prove how hard you were, or how badass you were, sorry, Kennedy and Hannah, was like spraying Banaka under your tongue and how many sprays you could do. Spoiler alert, I did like 12 and I think I got to 7 and it burned so bad I started drooling all over myself. I was at like a middle school dance. Just don't, bad moves. All right, Tidbit Tuesday on a Thursday. So check it out. Nigeria is blowing up as far as a not a tech hub, but as a developing country, right? I'm not saying Nigeria is like way out in the Stone Ages here, but as a developing country, Nigeria has been getting a lot of influx of capital, and they're investing it into their population as far as education and technology resources to be able to grow and basically provide for their citizens so they can scale up and get more and more business development and resources and basically grow the society, grow the economy, grow the area around Nigeria. And, with that comes all sorts of challenges, I guess, if you want to call it that. Nigerians have long been known for the Nigerian prince scam, usually coming from Nigeria. In this instance, the Nigerian police took down 130 people. That's not an easy feat. That's a lot of people to arrest. What I found interesting is that not most of them were not Nigerian. They were international people coming into Nigeria. And what's also interesting is that it sounds like they're attacking Nigerian citizens as well. They said something in the story that like Nigeria loses like $5-6 million annually to cybercrime. So it's not like they're just using Nigeria as a hosting spot in order to launch their attacks. It is what it is. Oh, so check it out. This is interesting. And we've seen this in Ghana as well. Ghana has like, there's like an ABC special on romance scams in Ghana. And basically, there's not always a lot of opportunities for young people to, have a career in some of these developing countries, right? So the group of people, right, the community, if you will, they get into cybercrime, romance scam, and other type of fraudulent scams, and then they'll basically train up their younger citizens in order to, basically execute the same scams. And you can see here, authorities of Delta State, which I don't know what Delta State is, shut down Yahoo school known as Hustle Kingdom, where over 100 young people were trained in cybercrime, allegedly, okay? People involved in cybercrime in Nigeria even have a name, Yahoo Boys. So, like, it's this mature, frankly, of a capability in Nigeria that they have colloquial terms to describe those type of people, right? So it's like, oh, you're graduating high school, you don't know what to do? Like, go be a Yahoo boy, right? So Nigeria is dropping the hammer on these guys, and I love it. This Prince Olumuyiwa, dude, he's smiling. I love it. All caps, dude. Police bust, arrest 134 nationals. All caps. Here we go.
Regulators, mount up. It was a
All right. I do have some strong opinions about this Nigerian police logo, but I'll keep those to myself. Oh, thank you. Oyen Demola says Delta State is a state in Nigeria, so that's great to know. Thank you for that context. Final thing I'll say about this: don't let something like this sway you. I don't even know if that's the right word. Don't let something like this influence your opinion of Nigeria and Nigerians in general. Hold on one second. Like I said, Nigeria is coming up. You can Google multiple stories of Nigeria investing into their community and their citizens and blowing it up. It's awesome.
200,000 Select Blinds customers impacted by Skimmer.
Hold on. I see a double shot here. Kathy Chambers and Deb Wigley in the same chat. Double shots.
More than 200,000 people who were shopping for blinds or window dressing this year had sensitive data stolen after hackers placed skimming malware on the retailer's website. The hackers likely obtained names, emails, shipping and billing addresses, phone numbers, and payment card numbers with expiration dates and the security CVV codes. In a breach notification filed this week, Select Blinds said employees discovered the malware on September 28th, but realized the malware had been on the company website since at least back in early January.
All right. So, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your blinds, right, Anton? So, Select Blinds, guys, this is just a retail vendor, right? So, if you work in retail, don't think that you're not fancy pants enough to be targeted by threat actors, okay? Retail, it's a thing, right? So I haven't used Select Blinds, but with 200,000 customers' information, I'm sure they have some legit stuff. Looks like they use a website to, basically do their business. And in a rare throwback to the early aughts, 2000 aughts, right? 2008, 2009, 2000 to 2013. Credit card skimming was like hot. It was
That Hansel's so hot right
credit
now.
card skimming was so hot. Basically, credit card skimming went south because ransomware is so much more valuable or so much more lucrative. California and Maine stepping up to the plate. Again, thank you, California and Maine, for basically being the United States GDPR and letting us know when bad stuff happens with corporate businesses. Let's see. They found malware on the website, an unauthorized third-party embedded malware on the website that allowed data scraping on the checkout page. Okay. Through their investigation, they figured out that SelectBlind's username and password was affected if you logged into the checkout page only on the SelectBlind's website. All right. Again, yes. If you reused your passwords, probably compromise, right, at this point. I'm trying to figure out, I mean, this is a textbook credit card skimming. All right. This is a textbook credit card skimming attack, okay? Basically, threat actors were able to get onto the SelectBlind's website on the administration side of it, right? And inject some type of additional JavaScript, probably JavaScript. And actually, this could have been done a few different ways, okay? Let me break it down for you, okay? Sorry, I'm a little congested here. Yes. Luke Canfield talking about adding credit card skimmings physically to gas station pumps. We could talk about that too. Let me tell you exactly what's up with these credit card skimming situations, okay? It can happen a couple different ways. You have a website. Let's go big. You have a website, right? I don't care if it's like, whatever, Vistaprint, or, you're buying an Amazon package, whatever it is, right? You go to a website, you go Simply Cyber Academy, right? Maybe you're going to get some GRC education. Spoiler alert, 30% off basically now until the end of the month. Ooh, all right, so check it out really quickly. You go to the website, you type in your information, you type in your credit card number, you hit purchase now, you get the transaction completed, and your product shows up in a week or two, right? You bought like a nice emulsion blender, right? That's what you bought, emulsion blender, okay? No big deal. You make the transaction, vendor gets the money, you get your product, everybody wins. Well, these credit card skimmers basically sit in the middle, and in addition to it skimming and going to the vendor to make the product, the threat actor makes a copy of it and sends it to themselves. Now, how does this JavaScript, probably JavaScript, get onto the console? There's a couple ways, and that's what I want you to take out of this little segment, okay? Number one is the threat actor is able to log in to the website as a developer or as an admin, right? So if you have some type of like managed service like Wix or Squarespace, they can log in, they could drop it that way. If you're running like WordPress and hosting your own web server, they can log in that way. If you're using crappy credentials and no multi-factor, so they can log in as a legit developer and modify and insert the malware. Number two, they can poison, and we've seen this a lot, they can poison like package repositories like NPM or PyPy or GitHub, right? Any of these ones, or like WordPress plugins, and add their JavaScript malware in there. And then basically this becomes a crime of opportunity because now they need a victim to incorporate or download those infected packages and introduce them to their website. So the first one, much more targeted. I'm going to get selectblinds.com. Let's go. Second one, more opportunistic. You're like that meme with the guy peeking behind the tree. He's like, oh yeah, like you don't know who you're going to get. You could get selectblinds.com or you could get simplycyber.io. Who knows, right? So those are the two ways. And then obviously you can do all the phishing, to get social creds and stuff like that. Finally, a third way, and this does not work for websites, but because Luke Canfield dropped it in chat, there are physical devices you can purchase that you lay on top of a POS terminal, right? So like where you scan your credit card physically, where you put your credit card in, like at an ATM, a gas station, at Target, at the Total Wine, picking up what I'm putting down. And it physically sits in between you and the transaction, and they just skim it there. And then they either come back and physically get the device with a USB drive or an SD card where it's stored that information. They can go up and get the, they can use Bluetooth and just drive by the gas pump and it'll push the data there. They can get wicked fancy and have a wireless antenna and have it hop on some wireless stuff. So there's a couple different options, but I hope you enjoyed this little TED Talk on Credit card skimming. This is not Threat Actor Academy. I do not want you to go commit crime. I'm just educating you so we can all be better at protecting from crime.
Cyber attack on Microli disrupts prisoner tracking and transport operations. On October 31st, telematics
Yep, keyloggers can also skim 100% Fleetus.
provider Microli announced that a cyber attack disrupted tracking services for some of its key clients and exposed employee data. The incident disabled tracking and panic alarms in prison transport vehicles operated by Cisco, forcing crews to revert to alternative manual safety measures. Meanwhile, some of DHL's delivery tracking operations were also affected. Following their disclosure to the London Stock Exchange, Microli's stock price dropped by 16%. The company is notifying affected employees and expects to restore its systems by the end of the week.
All right, I was all up in mod chat here for a minute. Carrie Tyler said she had a bad string of skimmers on pumps and at the stores this summer in New Orleans. They arrested some guys for it. Good.
Regulators.
All right, so let's talk about this. Telematics provider. Telematics? What the hell? What is that? I've never even heard that word before, telematics. That's interesting. If you know what telematics are in chat, please let me know. The company supplies asset tracking software to large companies. Probably pretty important if you got a lot of things in transit. Logistics is a thing, right? What is this attack, man? All right, so tracking and panic alarms in prison transport vehicles. Oh, I was thinking of transporting like Simply CyberCon glasses for speakers. This is like prison transport. Wow. Okay, so this just got real. Forcing crews to rely on alternative safety measures, like checking every 30 minutes using paper maps. Oh my God. Whatever, dude. Are you kidding me? Like, hey, if you are over the age of 40, I would say you have definitely printed out MapQuest directions and been like this guy driving, like, you know, like in between taking down your visor and grabbing another CD, like your 40 ounces to freedom CD and popping that in, right? Your Weezer Blue album, Mara Levy, I'm looking at you, right? You would have the MapQuest directions up. You're doing your thing, right? So don't tell me that this is like out of control, okay? DHL hindering supply chain ops, yeah, okay. I just don't understand what happened here. Was it ransomware attack? What was it? Leo Nunez says it's telecom. I'm a telecom engineer. Basically everything that has to deal with digital comms, Wi-Fi, satellite, fiber optics. Thank you, Leo Nunez. I don't understand exactly what happened here. Like it screws up supply chain, because with supply chain, there's like physical things moving, logistics. You need to coordinate all these things. But what I don't understand is what happened here. Was it a cyber attack? I mean, obviously it was a cyber attack. Jesus. Was it ransomware? Was it denial of service? Was it low and slow espionage? Were they trying to commit an integrity attack and changing where things were going? Some limited employee data was compromised. Yay. Microli's stock dropped 16% on the news. Not a financial advice stream, but it'll be interesting to watch. These stocks usually, do your own research, obviously, but these stocks usually bounce back pretty quickly. All right, so I'm looking at Microli's stock. They're trading at 112. You can see where the dip is right here. All right, so they were trading at 118. Here's the dip on November 5th, and then they're back up to 117. So we missed the dip. All you crypto stonks people, whatever. Like, again, this is not financial advice. I 100% do not want you ever to take financial advice from me. What I want you to see is when we talk about impact of a cyber attack on our business, especially a publicly traded company, there can be instances where, you take reputational damage and the stock dips on cyber attack bad news. Not all the time, but oftentimes the stock will dip and then go back up after a few days. So again, not financial advice, but there is these things. I will say, personally, I invested in SolarWinds after the SolarWinds attack happened a couple years ago, and that did not do what. Hold on. You can see here. Here's the 5-year for SolarWinds. I'd have to go back and see exactly when it hit, but like, dude, it went down to like $8. It was trading closer to 15. I don't remember what I bought it at, but I don't think I think I'm still like in the red on this one. So it's not always gonna work, okay? But just FYI. And the reason I tell you is not for financial advice. It's so if you are doing cybersecurity for a publicly traded company, when you're doing your threat modeling and talking about the risks and impacts of those risks, so you can inform the CISO in the board or the CIO or whatever on how to invest, right? If you're a senior GRC professional, where to invest your incredibly scarce resources. Stock value typically isn't one of those impacts, right? You can kind of like, that's a lower class. Like it's more about compromise, right? Yeah, Super Micro never recovered. DB with a super chat.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep.
Thank you, DB.
And now I'd like to thank today's episode sponsor, Vanta. As third-party breaches continue to rise, companies are increasingly vigilant, which means more time spent on manual security reviews. With Vanta questionnaire automation, security and compliance teams can complete security reviews up to 5 times faster, giving you time back to focus on running your security and compliance programs. Over 8,000 global companies like ZoomInfo, Smart Recruiters, and Noibu use Vanta to save time on security reviews. Visit Vanta.com to learn more about questionnaire automation. That's VANTA.com.
Fleetus Piston? That's actually kind of a cool name. That sounds like if like they like one of the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out characters, like that, you know, didn't make it to the final round. All right, let's go. All right, what's cracking, y'all? Sean Kelly in the house. What is the impact of SaaS reliance on your operations? We'll talk about that. I'm not 100% sure what your question is, Sean, but I love it because it's a GRC question. All right, guys, check it out now. I want to say shout out and thank you to all of you, hashtag Team SC, first-timers, long-timers, passive observers, lurkers in chat, people driving like Mad Destroyer, people who don't want to jump in the comments like Hope, but I know you're here. Folks who are engaged all the time, FedEx, Nicole, Triple D, Eddie, Carrie, Haircut Fish. Guys, thank you. It is an absolute pleasure and an honor to be able to do this show 746 times and keep on going. Episode 1000, we're going to have to do the math and figure out when episode 1000 is and get crazy. DB says with a super chat.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Hold on, we got to play that.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Yes, I do, DB. DB asks, do I still have the Telegram channel? I don't really market it or share it. There's so many things that I do that I just forget to tell people. It's unfortunate. But yes, there is a Simply Cyber official Telegram channel if you want to stay up to date on all the current news. And these are the news stories that I personally curate. So the stories in this podcast are from CISO series. The stories that I curate are into the Simply Cyber Telegram channel. So if you just go to t.m/Simply Cyber official, you will join the Simply Cyber Telegram channel, or you can go to Simply Cyber official on Telegram. There's no cost. I don't run ads or anything like that. It's literally just another service that I do for the community, just like the newsletter that everybody gets every Monday. Let's go. All right. Hey, shout out to the stream sponsors. We got Barricade Cyber. We got Delete Me up in here. We got Antisyphon, which I've been in John Strand's class all week. Knowledge bombs galore. Been playing with Meta CTF. Love it. Now listen, every single day of the week has a special segment. And Thursdays, our friend, the Haircut Fish, a.k.a. Dan Reardon, a.k.a. the man with a plan in chat, makes a custom meme for our community. And he's been doing it for years. It's phenomenal. His catalog is exceptional. Well, today's no different. I would like you to feast your eyes on And this is great because they're usually about me, but today is not about me. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Max Headroom, John Strand edition. All right, this came up in the Black Hills course that we've been doing all week this week. There were some Max Headroom references. If you don't know, go Google it. It was a thing from the 90s. It was good. Thank you so very much, Haircut Fish, as always. All right, let me punch ahead to the laws. We'll finish. We'll get back into the news. All right, everybody, get your laws ready because it's about to drop. Oh yeah, here's the original Max Headroom. I only went full screen there because it looked like Max Headroom was also dancing to the song, so we wanted to get that representing. All right, let's get back to the news and finish strong.
Cisco bug lets hackers run commands as root on access points. Cisco has fixed a maximum severity vulnerability in unified industrial wireless software's interfaces used to provide connectivity for industrial wireless automation. The issue allows an unauthenticated hacker to run low-complexity command injection attacks with root privileges on vulnerable access points without requiring any user interaction. Cisco's advisory says affected Catalyst access points and clients would need to have the URWB operating mode enabled to be vulnerable. Cisco's product security team has yet to discover evidence of publicly available exploit code or attacks in the wild.
All right, here we go. As always, if you are running, oh my God, these friggin' ads. If you're running Cisco in your environment, which many do, Cisco is an enterprise-grade solution, and you happen to be running, and this would be something that, like, you're not going to have this at, like, a small business, okay? This is definitely corporate. Ultra-reliable wireless backhaul access points. So I assume this is some type of, like, WAN-to-WAN, reliable, beefy, heavy-duty type piece of network technology. Call your local DJ BSEX, find out if this is in here. This is absolutely, if you run Cisco, like if you're a Cisco shop, which is typically the way people talk about, like if your business is committed to a piece of technology like Windows or Aruba or Cisco, the phrasing you'll hear people say is, we're a Cisco shop. We're an AWS shop, okay? Just to give people some terminology if you haven't heard that before. So if you're a Cisco shop, you definitely have network engineers, and you definitely would just send this over and say, hey, listen, I don't know if this is in our tech stack. If you had decent asset management, you would know, but let's be real, asset management is a friggin' pipe dream. Get this fixed. Now, it is maximum severity, right, which is not good. All of these technologies typically have a web administration interface, which means they're running a web server listening for connections to come in, okay? Back in the day, and Nerman, if you're going to get your CCNA, you would remote into these devices, right? Like you would use SSH to secure shell in. You're basically on the command line, like, looking like a elite level 1990s style hacker, just monochrome green on the command line, getting done, right? But in modern times, they have web admin portals to allow people to click and drop and visualize stuff. Well, because of that, this particular interface has a vulnerability that allows unauthenticated threat actors to do low complexity command injection, and it doesn't require user interaction. Well, of course it doesn't require Anyways, unauthenticated threat actors. So right now, if they can find the admin panel, they can basically do command injection, which sounds like they could basically create a new account, log in, take it over, and cause havoc. Plus, it's on your network. So chances are not chances, like you could easily imagine a denial of service attack by bringing that thing down. Now, this isn't going to bring down your whole network. It's just going to screw up whatever this wireless backhaul is for. So it could like basically carve off part of your network, right? Say this is how you connect a remote satellite office back to the mothership. Well, if you cut this thing off, that remote office maybe gets cut off, right? And sometimes in order to control, here's a advanced thing, right? In order to control, frankly, right? Sometimes you configure a network so satellite offices have to route back through the mothership before going out onto the internet. Now, this has a bandwidth demand, which can cause performance issues. But by forcing remote offices and satellite offices to go back through the mothership out to the internet, you get to benefit of all those like enterprise grade security technology. Say you have like a Gigamon firewall at your main edge that does all sorts of like packet level inspections, and it's wicked beefy and everything. You want your satellite office going through that so you can get all the benefits of it. If you allow the satellite office just to go out on the internet through their own front door, well, then you got problems, right? You could have people doing dumb stuff. So that you could basically carve it off. TLDR, you don't want this in your environment. Cisco says that they haven't seen any exploitation or shellcode or exploits out in the wild, which means you have time. It doesn't mean that it won't get popped, okay? It just means it hasn't been cracked yet. Remember, vulnerabilities and the exploitation of those vulnerabilities, there's a temporal variable. There is a time-based variable. Today, November 7th, 8:47 a.m. Eastern Time, this is not being exploited in the wild. Tomorrow, November 8th, it could be, right? So you've got some runway, but take advantage of it. Do not kick this down the road or any vulnerability of serious consequence in your environment because, it's not a big deal right now.
You gotta patch it.
I'll give you a perfect example of when this happens, where people just kick it down the road. GG, sorry they're late because they got a new job as an incident responder. GG, yes sir. Can I get a wrecking ball? Hold on one second. Anytime someone gets a job, we are absolutely pausing all the things and wrecking ball. It's my favorite sound effect on the board, and I like a lot of the sound effects on the board. GG, incident responder. There we go. Congratulations. Super pumped for you. Like super pumped for you. All right, so really quickly, just to tell you really quick, when WannaCry, when the NSA's tool set got leaked by Vault 7 and the shadow brokers back in late 2016, early 2017, Microsoft released a patch for the SMB vulnerability that Eternal Blue exploited. And there was like 2 months time. And even with those 2 months time, WannaCry out of North Korea basically leveraged that Eternal Blue exploit and friggin' ran roughshod across the entire world because there were so many people who hadn't patched it.
You gotta patch it.
So just know there's a temporal variable that you got to take care of with this.
Hackers increasing use of Winos 4.0 in attacks. On Wednesday, Fortinet reported that hackers are targeting Chinese-speaking Windows users with the malicious Winos 4.0 framework through seemingly benign gaming apps. The attacks leverage search engine optimization tactics, social media, and messaging platforms like Telegram to distribute the malware. When victims execute the installers, they unknowingly initiate a multi-step infection process. Ultimately, Winos 4.0 collects system and environment information, checks the host for antivirus and monitoring software, gathers crypto wallet extensions, maintains a backdoor connection to a C2 server, and exfiltrates user data files.
All right. So, couple things here. One, we'll allow it. All right. So check it out. This is looks like it's targeting, China or Asian speaking countries. Here's the deal. This Windows 4.0 framework is a post-exploitation framework. Post-exploitation frameworks The most famous one I think is like Cobalt Strike. Empire is a PowerShell based post exploitation framework that you can download and run. Sliver's another open source one that's Bishop Fox manages. Here's the deal. Post exploitation framework allows you to manage your compromised assets in an environment, right? So if you're a hacker and you hack or a pen tester, right? Or a red teamer, and you break into a company and you get access to like my box, you don't want to have to like write it down on a notepad and then remember how you get in there and everything. You use post-exploitation frameworks to jump into compromised assets, to run things, to keep visibility. It's like a command. Well, I mean, it is a command and control interface. Okay. So post-exploitation framework is hot. Okay.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Second of all, the term post-exploitation tells you everything you need to know. You already own the asset, whether it's low-level privilege, whether it's privest, whether you had credentials, exploitation, bad USB drive, whatever it is, you already own the asset. That's when you're installing what's going on. It's like picking the lock and breaking into the house. The post-exploitation framework is basically getting up into the attic and setting up a tent and a little stove and like setting up shop. Like, I'm going to be in this attic for a while. I'm going to be hiding up here. And, you know, when you're at work, I'm going to go downstairs and rifle around through your kitchen drawers and whatever. The interesting thing here is, and this is something to educate your end users, please. Educate Carl. Carl is our token end user if you didn't know. He's also got a squad emote, okay? Carl's a cartoon character, but whenever we talk about an end user who doesn't care about cybersecurity, because why should they? They get paid to do marketing or accounts receivable or, you know, whatever, valet, whatever. It doesn't matter. They don't care about cyber, so they make bad choices. They are infecting themselves. Normally, you compromise an asset, then you deploy post-exploitation. In this instance, the attackers are literally just sending the victim a post-exploitation framework, making it look like a video game, and then the user installs it. It doesn't even sound like it's a Trojan. At least with a Trojan, you get to play the video game while you're getting ramrodded, right? This one, you're just installing it. All right. So anyways, make your end users aware that free and shady typically means bad. All right. Also, hey, fun fact, around the Thanksgiving table this Thanksgiving, remind your youngs, right? My 12-year-old is a perfect example. My 9-year-old scratching at the door trying to get his own like laptop for Christmas. Remind your children that like cracked skins, cracked software, hacks, Fortnite aimbots, do not download those things. Make them aware. And if you're looking for a really cool content creation idea, again, be very careful screwing around with malware. Do not touch malware if you don't know what you're doing. But if you do know what you're doing, this would be a pretty interesting piece of content to make, because it's a video game, right? So it's a little bit more accessible for mainstream people to digest. All right.
Volt Typhoon breach.
We're running behind stream here. I've got to leave to go teach in a few minutes. So we're gonna hit the 2x button right now on the stream and speed run the rest of this one.
Singtel as test run for U.S. telecom attacks. Over the summer, Chinese threat actors Volt Typhoon reportedly breached the Singaporean telecom company Singtel. According to Bloomberg, two people familiar with the matter told the news outlet that Singtel breach was, quote, a test run by China for further hacks against U.S. telecommunications companies, end quote. Bloomberg said its sources confirmed that Volt Typhoon used a web shell in the Singtel breach. This aligns with an August report from Lumen Technologies, which warned that Volt Typhoon had abused a Versa SD-WAN vulnerability to plant credential harvesting web shells on customers' networks. More recently, another Chinese government-backed group, Salt Typhoon, was accused of breaching the infrastructure of Verizon, AT&T, and Lumen Technologies, although all three companies have declined to comment on those incidents. China has repeatedly denied these accusations.
Well, of course China's going to deny it, right? Like China's going to come out. This isn't like a Batman movie where, you know, China comes out and is like, yes, Batman, I expect you to get compromised. Like what? No, like obviously deny. Of course. Like, second of all, by the way, I guess China is Bane in this story. I don't know, guys. Like, to me, I mean, I do like to be measured and try to be objective, but like China's Volt Typhoon breaches Singapore and it's seen as a test run for US. Like, this is a fact. And then this is an inference. I don't know. Sure, it could be a test run for breaching the United States, but like, that's a pretty bold take. That's a really bold take. Like, it's a test run? Like, how did you come up? Like, what intel suggests that it's a test run? China's, allegedly attacking people all over the place. So if China attacks Taiwan, is that a test run for the United? Like, what are we doing here? Again, I'm not saying it's not a test run. I'm just saying, how did you come to that conclusion? And what's your level of confidence, right? Do you have like one source that suggests it? Anyways, if Volt Typhoon is, if we're led to believe what is up, I really hope we are preparing. CISA and the FBI have come out like months ago and told Congress about Volt Typhoon and about the compromising of critical infrastructure by these threat actors and basically setting up shop. They like Volt Typhoon. It says Volt. So, okay, Salt Typhoon. I was going to say it wasn't Volt Typhoon. Salt Typhoon, which is another dimension of China, has been accused of breaking into telecom companies. There's another one called Flax Typhoon. I forget what they broke into, but they're attacking things all over the place. So we'll see. Unfortunately, it does look like they are staging for, if they wanted to attack or if there was some type of response that they needed to do, that they would be in a good position. This is definitely way beyond commercial and corporate type cybersecurity. This is much more military and nation state national security. So just, this is something to keep an eye on, but also a lot of private sector does manage critical infrastructure. So, I guess if you're working in telecom or oil and gas, look at what Volt Typhoon's IOCs are, go threat hunting in your environment. But it's not good. Like, if this thing comes to fruition and there's like a massive like Red Dawn type thing. Red Dawn was a movie. They remade it with Helmsworth, but like the original one with Patrick Swayze and Charlie Sheen is super awesome. I think, what's her name? Jennifer Grey. Was she the one from Dirty Dancing? Original Red Dawn's pretty dope, but essentially, if you watch was there a recent movie that basically was like Digital Red Dawn? I think there was, or that was the premise of a video game, like Battlefield 6 or something. All right, let's go.
New German law could protect researchers reporting vulns. Germany's Federal Ministry of Justice has drafted legislation that eliminates criminal liability for people who warn businesses and ultimately the public of cyber vulnerabilities. The draft clarifies that the intent of the researcher must be to identify a security risk in an IT system and to report vulnerabilities to those responsible for addressing them. Germany's Federal Minister of Justice, Marco Buschmann, said, quote, "Those who want to close IT security gaps deserve recognition, not a letter from the prosecutor."
That's
end
right.
Quote.
Thank you, Roswell, UK. I've got like 1 minute here. I am actually kind of surprised. Germany, actually, I feel like Germany's pretty forward with like laws and regulations and modern, things. Basically, in the United States, if you're a security researcher, you can do responsible disclosure and not like get super sweaty about being held liable or being arrested like you did back in the 90s. In Germany, I guess, is starting to put these books in the law. Again, like Integrity is a hacker bug bounty platform out in Europe that's quite popular. And they've been running around doing these things for years. So this is interesting and stunning. If you work in Europe, if you do bug bounty, this is definitely relevant to you. If you work in a business in Germany, I know there's not many of you here, but if you do work in a business in Germany, you should be mindful of setting up a bug bounty program and what the laws are around that to be able to help facilitate discovery of responsible disclosure of vulnerabilities of your assets and technology. All right, guys, I am Jerry from Simply Cyber. We are at time for me, but don't go anywhere because we are going to be pivoting so hard. I've got to go teach at the Citadel. Let me tell you just a couple quick things. Okay? What's today? Thursday? Later today, and this is an ask of me for the community. Later today, Simply Cyber Firesides, we are going to be welcoming Danny Jenkins, who is the CEO and co-founder of ThreatLocker. Now, many of you know ThreatLocker is one of the sponsors on the stream right now. This is a sponsored interview. My Thursdays are typically not. It's just community and stuff like that. This one is not going to be a sales thing, though. It's more thought leadership. He's going to come talk about the current state of the industry, the market. Obviously, we'll talk about application security and those type of things. I would love it if you came out. You're going to definitely learn some interesting information from Danny. I interviewed him at Black Hat. You guys may have seen that video on the channel. But I'm just asking if you could come out, learn a couple things, have fun, and support the channel. I personally would appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Next thing I want you to know really quickly is, nope, not that. I will make a video for this, but everybody that is gone to Simply CyberCon 2024 will be getting a certificate of attendance, okay? Our very own Kimberly Can Fix It made the certificate of attendance, and she's gone so far as to having individual ones. So if you registered for Simply CyberCon, you are going to get a personalized certificate of attendance. And but the way we have it, you'll have to pull it yourself. I'm going to make a short video and share that tomorrow with everybody. So thank you, Kimberly Can Fix It, an absolute treasure to the community. So more information on that. You can see here's Callan's, here's Grayson's, here's Mrs. Auger's, right? Awesome. The final thing I want to share with everybody is I'll give you more information tomorrow. I'm definitely going to be late to Citadel. The final thing I want to share with everybody is that TryHackMe has reached out to me and said, hey, we're sorry about how the CTF worked at Simply CyberCon. Do you have an idea on what we can do? And I said, what about if we release it tomorrow, Friday, November 8th, and we let it run the weekend, and on Monday, I'll announce the winner of the CTF. They said, brilliant. So tomorrow at 9 a.m., as soon as the Daily Cyber Threat Brief ends tomorrow, the private room for the Simply CyberCon attendees CTF is going to open, and we're running a CTF all weekend. All right, so a lot of great stuff for the community. It costs $0 to attend and participate in the CTF. Obviously, it costs $0 to be part of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief and the jawjacking and all those things. All right, guys, I really got to run. I definitely appreciate all that you do. Thank you so very much. Don't go anywhere because we're going to be pivoting to jawjacking, led by one Eric Taylor from Barricade Cyber Solutions. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Thank you all so very much. Have a great day, and we'll see you at 4:30 p.m. for the Simply Cyber Firesides. Peace. Cybersecurity. Join us every weekday for Jawjacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some Jawjacking.
What's up? If any of y'all are been watching the news or social media, whether you're, again, this is not a political show, but if you're left or right or in the middle, social media is just completely effing unhinged from literally both sides of the fence. It's really crazy. And unfortunately, if you're in cyber, you got to go on social media to keep up with all your feeds from all these people that don't have an RSS feed from like Bleeping Computer and stuff like that. And it's just, it'll wear you down. So if you're in threat ops, if you're in cyber, I see you. I feel your pain literally right now, because I was on Twitter trying to find some stuff and more unhinged. I just look for CVE stuff. You know, what's the latest CVEs that are not making the news yet, you know, being posted on X, and it's just political everywhere. I'm like, Jiminy Christmas. Anyway, if you're new here and don't know who I am, my name is Eric Taylor. I'm the CEO, Chief Forensic Operator at Barricade Cyber Solutions, digital forensic center expert, and I have my esteemed honor and privilege to be here for Dr. Gerald Auger, being able to fill in for Jaw Jacking today for DJ Bisek, who is cramming literally for a test in I think a week or two. So it'd be very interesting. Yeah, exactly. It's not a political show. It's more talking about politics as a whole, Dr. Gerald Auger. So if y'all have any questions, definitely put the Q with the colon mark or colon in there, and we will get these things fired up. Let's see if this will actually work in chat with. I don't know if it will since Dr. Gerald Auger's not here. He literally just logged off, and I think Nightbot requires him to be on. See you later, Cyber Butterfly. All right, so Oliver asked, how do you deal with burnout? I have a couple more months left in my bachelor's program in cybersecurity, but I'm also working on getting my Azure certifications. Well, Oliver, it really is going to depend on individual to individual, but I literally say I use the analogy, go out and touch some grass. Like, it's kind of twofold. I know the youngs kind of laugh at me because, you know, it's a weird saying, but basically it's get outside. You know, you're bending over, you're kind of working out a little bit, you're touching grass because you got to bend over to touch grass, but it's basically get outside and do something. Get out of your chair, which is hard even for our organization because it seems like every time I get up and move away for a while, things typically hit the fan. But yeah, you just got to figure out a way to separate yourself, disconnect as it were, and be able to enjoy some life, you know, whether it's fishing, hunting, you know, that country song, fishing, loving, hunting every day, or fishing, hunting, loving every day, whatever. It just came to mind, but you got to do what it is, you know, if it's tinkering on your vehicles or doing DIY projects, whatever it is that you enjoy, try to schedule that in, you know, once or twice a day for like an hour or so. You know, me personally, I freaking hate it, but I get so much benefit from it. Is actually just walking around the neighborhood with my ear pods on. You know, granted, I am listening to podcasts while I'm doing it, or I'm listening to a book about cybersecurity or business, but it's the fact that I got away, I got outside, breathed some fresh air. I was able to not focus on the daily grind of whatever issue is currently going on, and it helped gives me a moment of pause. So even a 20-minute walk, you know, could be beneficial. Again, I hate walking. I really hate running. If you've seen me, you know why. But honestly, just put in your just do what you enjoy. You know, try to get it in for 20 minutes, try to get it in for an hour if your schedule allows, and just try to do that once or twice a week, and then try to get it to like every other day or something. I mean, kind of work up to it, because it's going to be a lot to undertake and try to implement. Sorry, it's a long-winded conversation or answer, but basically do what you enjoy. Try to incorporate that into your day. Question from Rich. How do you feel about Sophos? Oh. From a technology standpoint, I think they're cool. To a degree. So, all right, there's two sides of this answer. The simple fact that you can have telemetry from your endpoints reporting back to your firewall, so you get a 360 visibility, is really, really effing cool. It really, really is. But Sophos, and I've made this complaint to them for years, and they're like, yeah, we know. But every time they acquire a new technology, it's another service that's running. Like if you have the Sophos and including even their XDR product, it's like 15 daggum services that are running. You got Hitman Pro, you got this, you got that. And it's like, can you not combine your technology at all? And it's been years. I'm like, all right, after a year or so, they'll start merging it and, incorporating into their core technology, but they haven't. So at least on the server, I consider it bloatware because you have so many services that are running. It is freaking insane. But again, if you have beefy systems and you can be able to handle it, the telemetry that you're able to see from the firewall without having to go to other multiple planes for a network topology standpoint, that is pretty cool. I do like that feature of Sophos. So, test it out if it's something you want to do. Again, just know that there on your servers, you're going to have a bunch of services that are running. Yeah, I'll make this caveat too. I'm not watching the chat. I know the mods are heavily watching it. My little rant about social media and political was not an invite to get political on here. I was just making a point about how, I personally am getting burned out on social media because of all the political rhetoric. That was my point. It was not an invite to talk about left, right, or any of the policies of the day. So mods are more actively watching it. I don't think anybody has said anything out of line, but Dr. Gerald Auger did mention it, so I just wanted to put that out as well. They didn't put a Q in the beginning of this, but I will pick this one up. Clifton Reed, where do you see IT help desk positions going in the next couple of years? I don't see them going away at all. Maybe the requirement for as many team members in there will go away. I know a lot of people that we work with so I have a group called the Panel, and I'm the one cyber guy with a bunch of MSPs and stuff like that, and we all help advise each other on business and just all this other stuff. But there is products like Hulu that's for documentation and ticketing. There's a lot of technology that's being brought up where you can use your own private LLM, either on your own devices. Like if you were into crypto mining, you definitely got the gear to run your own LLM, or if you're doing your own Azure AI in your Microsoft 365 tenancy, being able to pivot to there. And a lot of the entry-level questions, hey, have you done this? Have you done this? Have you checked this? And stuff like that. Using that AI to generate some of those. You've called tech support before, right? You see, them going through their checklist and that AI being able to do that. I see a lot of the tools out there being able to do that and being able to resolve stuff before it requires human intervention. So let's see here. Just getting caught up on chat. Let me actually do a filter. All right, so Dennis Keith says, I recently heard about Security Onion, but have not dug into it yet. How popular is it in the industry? And how is it most often? So Security Onion is very popular in the industry. A lot of these smaller organizations are those who are heavily favored into the open source technology or open source community. definitely use a lot of Security Onion. It is essentially used as a SIM. So you send all your telemetry from your network, your endpoints, your firewall, your switches, your access points, just all that stuff. All that telemetry gets sent to the Security Onion platform. Another popular, and you're able to create rules and things of that nature. Another very popular one, especially in the open source and smaller companies, is ELK, ELK, Elastic. I forget what the L in Kibana. I forget what the L is, but ELK is another very popular one to take a look at if you're looking to get into it. A lot of training classes will use ELK primarily, not so much Security Onion, but ELK is definitely a one that's up there. So answered that one. From DP, just had a junior SOC analyst asking this question. As a SOC analyst, what are some projects you can initiate so you can just not wait to respond to? So, okay. What we do is, again, unless you know what the F you're doing, please don't do this. But if you know what you're doing and you know how to build out sandboxes and things of that nature, you start getting a hold of some of these malwares and these new remote access tools and things of that nature, and start building detection rules off of it. How does this thing connect? How does that connect? What does it do when it launches? Things of that nature. So building out your own and understanding the technology of new remote access tools, of new malware, things of that nature. So when you are threat hunting, you know and you understand how that technology is being interacted with it. I personally am very, very far behind. I've got literally a laundry list of items I still need to do parsing on. There's like 4 new remote access tools that I still need to go through and do my threat intel research on, so that way we can build our detections and our digital forensics and instant response queries off of. But that's how you're supposed to do it, right? Look at those new vulnerabilities. Does your EDR and SIM detect on those type of things, right? So you can go to your clients and say, look, Mr. and Mrs. Client, we've seen this being pushed out over a week ago or last week or a couple of days, however fast your team is, and we can say with 100% certainty that we are able to detect for this, or we already had detections in place for it, right? Showing that proactiveness to either your internal C-suite or to your clients will help you win the day. And it keeps you loose, it keeps you thinking. Hopefully that helps. Why should I go to get Volt Typhoon IOCs? I don't know. I'm not very familiar with Volt Typhoon, to be honest with you. But I will just say, from IOCs as a whole, look at the IOCs that are providing. The biggest thing that I see in the IOC threat landscape space, literally, is most of the time, even if it's a paid version of a threat feed, they're days to weeks behind. Like, you could set up RSS feeds and be able to get stuff from like Checkpoint and Dark Web and or Dark Reading and other things that will publish those IOCs first, and they're just scraping that data and putting in their threat intel feeds. So it's see how the IOCs are coming, how quote unquote fresh is it? Are they reporting stuff that you have not seen before, right, in your IOCs? And if it's of value, then consider paying for it, or if it's a free one. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, roger that. 10-4. So Kyle asks, what kind of logs are you looking for threat hunting? WinVent, syslog? Yes, all that. when it comes to forensics, it's all the things. We want all the logs. You know, if you have sysmon, great. If you have a dedicated syslog server, fantastic. Hopefully everything's been in your environment's been put over there, and we have at least 15 days at bare minimum of syslog data. That would be awesome. I think I said sysmon, but Windows event logs. We look at application logs. There's logs all inside of your system that we're looking for. But yes, if there's a log, we want it. Let's see. Sorry, I already answered that one. Justin and mods, please capture them. I'm doing my best to do it because I want to bring it up on stream. But I'm going to be checking with you guys here in a moment to make sure there's nothing I am missing. So Jeffrey Perez asked, applied for a tech support position that seemed entry level. In the interview, they were asking me about network engineering. I feel the description was inaccurate and I felt lied to. Help. All right. In the interview process, the hiring person is going to try to figure out where your skill sets are strongest at. You know, are you overqualified for this position? You know, or hey, they may have something in the background, like we got a networking SOC analyst that's coming up here in the next month or so, and this person will be great for it because we were interviewing them for this entry level, but you know, a network engineer is definitely a more higher up position. So they may have just been feeling you out of, you know, where your skill set is. You know, if it was all network based, then possible you were lied to, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to say that, but I do know even I try to see where your limits are when we're interviewing people to figure out where exactly the top mark is for you, so that way we can figure out how best to utilize you. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully that's what it was. So did that one. Oh, where should I go to get Volt Typhoon IOCs? I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm not very familiar with. I mean, I could look it up on this other screen. Give me a sec. But I wanted to say again, I want to say that that is a paid IOC feed. Volt. Oh, Volt Typhoon, the iOS. Oh. Sorry, I misunderstood. So, okay. Again, I'm behind on my feeds. So, Volt Typhoon, the threat actor. Okay, so looks like Intel 471 has something. I know I'm looking at it off screen here. And this is on purpose. I'm just kind of combing it over real quick. So yeah, this one, it's not very in-depth on IOCs. Bear with me 1 second, chat, or bear with me, everybody. Let's see if I can find a really good. Yeah, even Microsoft doesn't have a whole lot. I'll check our feeds and see if I have anything on our side. Again, like I said, I'm so far behind on literally so many things. I've been heads down with so much owner administrative stuff lately. It's been insane. All right, for some reason. All right, so I'm switching over to the mod chat feed now because for some reason my chat in Restream is not populating correctly. Oh, it's because of that. Okay, I see now. So answer that, answer that, answer that. Never froze everybody. I'm just sitting here going through mod chat, making sure I'm answering questions. Okay, it looks like this is the only one I haven't answered yet. All right, so question, if you're offered an opportunity to go back in time, what career path in IT would you choose to follow and what training would you go for? To be honest with you, I don't know if I would choose a different career path. I'm pretty happy with the one that I'm at, and I'm not a big component of if you can go back in time, what would you do different? Because I don't, if I was to go do that, I don't think I'd be the same person that I am today because the life choices and the struggles and the pains, you know, of business ownership and growing and, you know, learning this technology and that technology, I wouldn't be the same person. I wouldn't have the same abilities and skills, right? You know, I would say if I could go back, maybe be able to shove myself to do things faster, but I wouldn't change anything except for trying to hopefully absorb things in a faster pace or something, right? So that's really the only thing. All right, I'm seeing something. Oh, so Sock Radar does have a casualty, Joseph? Okay. Yeah, then it should be TLP white if it's on the open web. So from a couple of minutes ago, definitely check out Casualty Joseph's post here. And Sock Radar are some good folks. Expensive, but good folks. It takes time, Kyle. It's a non-stop grind. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to try to pronounce your name because I'm just going to tell you I'm going to butcher the trash out of it. But I'm glad that brought value. Again, I'm just not a component of the could you go back in time thing. You know, that whole butterfly effect, it just, I don't know, it's just, you're on a, I firmly believe that you're on a certain path in life and you need to walk that path. That way you can learn those, whatever life lessons that you need to learn. Again, whether it's, you know, the pleasures or the pains or the knowledge or the whatever it is, like you have to go through it, and there's no fast track. I mean, some people are able to get through certain life events quicker than others and absorb things faster than others, and you know, but we're all on our own little path, right? So, but I'm very happy where I landed. And I'm very happy knowing that I went through, the Marine Corps. I went through being an industrial and a residential electrician, and I went through, being a subcontractor and working for Blackbox and working for Walmart and Lowe's and Home Depot doing fiber optic. I mean, it's nothing that I'm using right now, but a lot of times when we were brought in on cases, I know this technology, right? A lot of it hasn't changed over the past 20 years. So I know the difference between single mode and multi-mode. I know how those connectors are going. So let's say hypothetically we're brought on site to do a recovery effort and there's a bad cable for fiber optics. I know how to fix that. I know how to splice fiber optic. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. So I wouldn't take any of those life lessons away. And this is the strongest thing that I say, why I say DFIR is not an entry-level position. You got to go through all these other roles and everything to get to where you are. You got to have those life lessons. You got, both life and in your learning path. So yep. Walk the line. It is hard. It is hard, bud. Right? But you just got to take it, right? I mean, you just got to walk through. You got to stay the grit. J-Mod says he's pretty good with a shovel. All right, does seem like the questions have been calming down. And shovels are good, Carrie. It allows you to dig up so much. Sorry, I don't have my other screen on, otherwise I'd hit the dolphin. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will bow this one or close this one out. Thank you all so much for tuning in and joining today. It's been awesome to see 204 of you ladies and gentlemen sitting here hanging out with us till the end of job jacking. Until next week or whenever I decide to take over and mess up Jerry's stream as much as possible. Y'all have a good one and stay curious.
The kid whose passwords laid across all sites, they were the same, a criminal, then found their fame by taking that data to go.
Soon may a criminal come to steal your pictures and data and run. One day when the crime is done, they'll steal your account and go.
Content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.